Hello, everyone in the big room and everyone here. And for those at home, we have a lot of participants today. So good to see everyone in the other room. And I think we can start. Maybe we can start with the discussion Zhao and Carmen were having yesterday. And Zhao wanted to ask about recognizing the differences between what to do with an idea of I and what to do with right understanding. Would you explain a little more about your question, Mr. Zhao?
Related to the Dhamma discussion on Zoom. So I heard when Achan asked Carmen in the meditation topic, you asked her, do you still like meditation? She said yes. And we said about the what Kun Sarachot recap to us about what you just said. So, Achan, I know the Dhamma is so deep, so subtle, and not easy to understand. And I always feel happy heard from you think about Dhamma. But I couldn't just said how to do everything without idea of I. And how to do is very natural, very in daily life.
Yes. The point is that there is everything appearing right now. How much understanding of the truth of it, that it's true or not, as Buddha said about it. For example, there must be a reality, a reality which arises and experience what is there now appearing. It's the chief of experience. It does not like or dislike anything because its nature is just to experience. But it cannot not arise without conditions at all. Is that true? Just develop the understanding of what is the truth of this moment until it can appear to only sharp right understanding, which develop more and more, clearer and clearer, little by little. That's why as long as no understanding of the truth of what is there as it is, that's why we listen to the truth again and again and again to develop more understanding, clear understanding of what we have heard. For example, seeing, it's there. We don't have to look for it somewhere. It's now so close. What is not known is that it's so close. It's not far away at all. But where is it? So close. The reality which arises and experience the object, the chief of experience, what is there as it is. How can we explain just the details of what is seen here? Just one single moment at a time experiences that which impinge on it before it can appear as the sign of something. So begin to understand what is there, which is so very deep and very subtle. No matter we just talk about it, as long it does not appear to be object of understanding, it's just thinking about it, or intellectual understanding about the truth of just one reality, the citta. We heard that word anytime, but how about, or what about the understanding, the subtlety of it, which now arises and experiences what is there? Everything appearing now, is experienced by that which arises to experience it before it can appear as the sign or the symbol or the shape or the form of something like this. Can just one single moment of that which experienced appear? No matter who tries, it's impossible. Just closes one's eyes, nothing at all be seen, but as soon as one opens one's eye, it's there. So many things, different shape and form. How come? That is the subtlety of one moment of experiencing an object far away, and then on, arising and falling away by different conditions. Sometimes it experiences the object which is unknown. For example, at moment of birth and fast asleep, no object there as eye or things at all. But when one wakes up, how come? Instantly, with idea about what is there. That's why does now citta appear to be known, or that which is experienced by citta appears. If there is no hearing, considering about the truth of that which arises every moment right now, there can never be the realizing of the truth of a reality which just arises and experience an object from time to time, continuously, even right now or any time. This is the word about understanding that which is there now, little by little. And this is intellectual understanding. Without firm confidence of the truth, it's impossible to get closer and closer to the truth of that particular reality, the chief of experiencing an object. Citta nupassana satipatthana. If there is no understanding of citta, how can there be more development of understanding it so it can show up as it is? Because now it's hidden. Even right now, no matter how much we talk about it, it's there, arising and falling away unknowingly. That's why be patient to consider it. Otherwise, it's there. No attention to its nature at all. That's why even if it's there all the time from birth, it doesn't appear. It means how subtle all realities we talk about do not appear as they are, one reality at a time. At moment of seeing, it's there seeing. It arises to see. But before seeing, it's there, arising, experiencing the object unknown. Is that right? That's why we learn to understand one moment to another moment before what appears through one of the six doorways. If there's no hearing, considering about the truth of that reality, can there be in life any moment understanding that what is there now? That's why this is the teaching of the enlightened one. And before he enlightened any truth, how long will it take? So how long there can be the moment of that reality appear, and when it appears, what is there? No color, no sound, nothing, no word. Only that appears to be known that it's a reality, no shape, no form. And that very moment, it experiences an object too. But the object is not known because that reality is known because it's appear. But without understanding, there is doubt. What is that? Even right now, it's there. Every moment. That's why just one word of the Buddha, the enlightened one, it needs more and more careful considering about the truth. until ignorance and attachment to that object get lesser and lesser, so it can appear to understanding. So that's why what we are hearing about the teachings now is only intellectual understanding, because nothing appears as it is at all. Even seeing, hearing, thinking, liking, disliking, they're all in a day. So it needs the understanding from the beginning to be firm of the truth that all Dhammas, nobody can make it arise. For example, at this moment, seeing is always there, while there's hearing and thinking, but there are conditions for seeing to see what is there too. How subtle it is, how short it is, from moment to moment. Is it true? Only that, to be truthful to the truth. So from moment to moment, right understanding is now developing unknowingly. And that is the subtlety of the path, the fourth path of the Eightfold Path, of the Four Arya Satya, the Four Noble Truths. So noble truth. That's why begin to understand the virtues of the Buddha. Just one word is so very, very deep, very, very subtle, but it's so true. So all parami is there. Viriya parami, Khanti parami, Satya parami, Nekama parami, Adidana parami. At moment of understanding, hearing, considering. No one there. So can the truth be realized without any parami at all? Even Viriya right now, to understand what is heard about the truth. The reality just arises to experience an object, no rupa at all in it, pure reality, which can experience the object. The sound cannot experience the object, hardness cannot experience the object, but there is a reality. Is it someone or something? Not at all. That is the meaning of anatta. When it's something, it's atta. This is atta, but anatta is only that which arises in false way. That can be directly experienced, but not at the beginning.
And I think, Zhao, because I know there is some doubt when you hear this, because your question for anyone who arrived late was when we talk about doing something, we can speak about doing something with wrong understanding or right understanding. For example, I'm doing the washing up, or I'm doing my laundry now. It's just conventional language. So who knows at what moment there is right or wrong understanding. The reason that Ajahn's answer is all about the nature of realities and understanding realities now is because if there is not the understanding of the realities now, what appears now, not just the object like the visible object or the sound, but also the citta, the seeing, the hearing, without this understanding of different Rupa Dhammas and Nama Dhammas, there will always be the deep-rooted idea of I that sees, I that hears, I that thinks this way or that way. So it's not about the language we use. We use ordinary language. I refer to Hang and I can say she's making her notes and doing her writing. We use the same language, but with more and more understanding of realities, there's less and less clinging to the idea that actually there's an I that can do anything at all, because there is the understanding that now it is just seeing which sees, hearing which hears, thinking that thinks. So that's why if we talk about streams of consciousness, like we were talking about yesterday with Carmen, or any topic, it depends on the understanding of reality at this very moment. And you mentioned that yesterday you were having a discussion with Carmen about meditation, and there may be the idea that there can be understanding anywhere, anytime, which is true. But the point is that it's the same. If there is not the understanding of dhammas, for sure there will be the idea that I can focus, or maybe it's beneficial for I to focus, to try to be aware. So only when there is the understanding of reality now will there be the understanding it's useless, and not only useless, but dangerous for there to be the idea of I can do. Do you have any further comments, Sal?
So as moment of seeing arise, they are nothing. But when I open my eye, I see everybody here. So at the moment I see you and Kunsara have an idea of I or Atta there, but the key is understand each other reality. I think so.
For example, what is seen, see, begin to understand the truth. How come to have the idea of this person or that person? So many moments of seeing that which is seen, to appear as sign of something, mark and sign, to be remembered, the difference. But what really experience one object at a time in order to understand that what appears is different, to be known as someone or something. Not you or anyone. It's a reality different from other realities. Each one is different by its nature, by its conditions. Begin to have confidence of the truth, that the truth is so true, that when there is a little more understanding, it can get closer and closer to the truth with understanding. No matter we talk about the absolute truth, where is it? It's so close, it's here, touching, it's here, seeing. But before it can be known, it needs more and more wise considering about the truth of it, to let go the idea of self. If it doesn't talk about just one process of seeing, how can there be the understanding that actually what is seen, so many dots, uncountable, to be different ones, this or that. The truth is a truth. And when there is more attention, more understanding, it gradually let go the idea of self or the idea of I or the idea of something seen. But it takes quite a long time as parami or wholesome moments. Otherwise, ignorance, condition, and wholesome moments, which cannot understand what is there because it cannot understand. That's why we learn a little more about what is there in life. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking. so many thoughts of that which is seen. That's why we learn about what are there in a moment to understand that they are dhammas, different dhammas, until it's so firm that it can condition the direct understanding of a reality as now. Unexpectedly, what is the object of awareness with right understanding? The understanding of anatta develops more and more, little by little. No matter how long we heard the teachings about seeing and that which is seen, what about today? And what about now? No doubt about it, but it does not appear as it is yet. Only through panya, which begins to be aware of a reality unexpectedly, develop what is there as it is, no selection at all, no expectation. That is the way to have firm confidence of anatta, on and on. That's why what is there can be known. It's not that we try to know it. It's gone instantly. Is that true?
When you say, I see people around, what is this I that sees?
As I understand, no I, but I'm not sure about it.
It seems I see, but if I ask you, what is this I? It's just what is imagined only, because however much you look, however much thinking there is, it will never be found. So we just live in our imagination, in our idea. No I that can be found, and no person that can be seen the same, because it's just in our imagination that it's hung, that is seen across the table. But actually, it's just what is visible that is seen. And it's the thinking, the idea that it's Ahang or Betty or anyone here. And the idea that it's I that sees. But now there's just a moment of seeing, and it just sees what is visible. If there was no thinking about Hung and Betty and I, then it would just be seeing, no idea about them at all. So because it's not firm enough, the understanding that it's just seeing now and just what is visible that is seen, that's why there is the idea of doing something or trying to follow a practice or focusing on an object, because it is doubt, not enough confidence that in the truth of the reality itself at this moment.
So I understanding. So we still live our life as usually and improve understanding about reality at this moment via the helping of the teacher like this, like Achan and every teacher here.
Who improves the understanding?
The Chitta.
It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
the understanding itself which improves, which develops.
Not
No
me.
one,
Yeah.
no thing that improves the understanding. It just accumulates. So life is just as normal. Like when we're in the taxi, I said, oh, I can't talk. I need to just focus on the directions to the driver. So we use ordinary language as normal. Life carries on as normal, but with more understanding, less confusion, less doubt, less idea of an I that can do anything in truth.
we have many time of doubt.
No one,
No,
no one at all. Only different realities.
no, but
Right understand begins to understand, not I.
Not my doubt or anyone's doubt. It's just a reality that arises by conditions and is gone, of no significance by conditions and gone.
so the way less everything will appear as their condition.
Because the worrying and the wanting to have more understanding, what kind of chittas are these, kusala or akusala? So just adding to the burden of akusala, adding to the difficulties in life, instead of just understanding. Doubt is just doubt, worry is worry, seeing is seeing. No one to do anything at all. Nothing to be done. And we don't even have to set a rule, oh, I must come to Bangkok to listen to a Ajahn, or I must open the book. Because actually, each moment, each seeing, each hearing, each thinking is conditioned. Not I that decides, not I that does anything.
And it's I again.
But we have to use the
Even we don't say any word, it's always I.
No, this make not cannot translate from this. And then
I mean, is there anything you would like to ask or add to any of this discussion, Rutsal? Any comments? In what way is it what way is it inspiring, Carmen? Just a minute.
at the moment,
Just a minute, let her.
Okay.
I just want to hear her question, my question to her.
It's inspiring in the sense that what we have talked about this morning is working. In the hotel, that we that anatta, I always focused when it comes to anatta about not an I, but it's also not a cup. And I forgot about that in my whole thinking of anatta. And so now hearing this question with this in my mind, it's inspiring to reconsider it.
Hi, do you want to?
I would like to ask if there's a moment there's doubt there. Is it the wrong view? Or always had a wrong with the wrong view, or sometimes with wrong view, or sometimes without wrong view at the moment of doubt?
Different moments, because when doubt arises, it arises just with ignorance, not with attachment, but wrong view always arises with attachment. When there's wrong view, there is liking of that idea, thinking that that wrong idea is right. There is attachment to it. But when there's doubt, no clinging, no attachment. And so it just arises with ignorance, different moments.
So doubt never arises with lobao, right?
No, exactly. Yes. Only with ignorance. And we were discussing in the hotel, and we had a discussion about how wrong view doesn't arise with conceit. So it helps to consider, to reflect more about what is doubt, what is conceit, what is wrong view, so that there can be understanding that they cannot arise together, but they can follow each other very quickly. There can be thinking with wrong view and then doubt about whether it was right or wrong, or there can be right understanding. Right understanding, it's just visible object that's seen, but because the understanding is so weak, there can be doubt straight afterwards, all by conditions, not by expectation at all.
It's remembered. Oh,
Again, Achan.
is it remembered?
Remember what, Achan?
You just talk about.
Not very much.
Because you see that there is always I and something all the time. And even we say it out or not saying, it's there, I, all the time. That's why in order to have confidence of Dhamma, of the truth, it takes time to understand just one reality at a time. That's why when we talk about doubt, what is it? Not whether it arises with this or that. Now, does it arise with this or that? Or what is doubt?
Just not understanding.
Understanding is ignorance, reality, not doubt. See, that's why we learn just one reality in order to understand when it's there, that we are thinking about it, or it's directly understand the characteristic, the nature of that reality that we have known, have heard for a long time. And when it's there, how much understanding of that without any word? Because when doubt arises, it's not wrong understanding, but there must be wrong understanding anytime. That's why it conditions doubt.
Yeah.
That's why we learn a little more of one reality at a time, and right understanding develops until being acquainted with the truth that actually there's no one, because there's a little more understanding of a reality. Ignorance is doubt or different one, different reality, doubt and ignorance.
It's different.
See, you can say. See, that's why this is the way to learn, not to forget what is heard in the day. Because after hearing, discussing, so many thinking about other things, instantly, even right now. That's why I just learn to understand one reality at a time. So when it's there, it's known. So what is there now? We have learned a lot. So what is there now?
People think.
Is there ignorance?
Yes, sure.
See, unknown. That's why we learn to understand when it's there, arising, and it does not understand the truth, the absolute truth of what is there. And right understanding is different from that. With our hearing, wise considering, firm understanding, can there be a little more understanding of that which appears as what we have said, like visible object? Who can imagine that what is visible object? Because what is seen is something all the time. So what is visible object? Little by little, to be acquainted, familiar with that which now seen. But what is seen is the nimitta, the sign of that which is seen as something. So begin to understand that the truth is so very subtle. That's why we learn to understand just one reality at a time, or one word at a time, For example, practicing or meditating or meditation. What is it? We just follow it. But what is it? No understanding of it, just follow it. Oh, what is it? So it's not just follow any term, any word, but develop the understanding of the nature of what is there, little by little. That at moment of ignorance, it's not moment of doubt. And when doubt is there, ignorance doesn't show up, only doubt. To be known that doubt is not ignorance. Learn about the truth of what is there in life, in a moment, by conditions. That's why it's the citta before seeing, and it's the citta after seeing. Even it's known, it just developed little by little. There are so many different realities that which is not known, arising together. For example, is there a kind of feeling right now? We talk a lot about feeling, but what kind of feeling is there? If it does not show up or be the object of understanding, unknown, and it's gone instantly. That's why we live in the world of ignorance until hearing about the truth, considering and right understanding gradually begin to develop when there's a little more understanding at a time, to understand what is there, not just try to reach something without understanding what is there in life, because they're all dhammas, unknown, until the words about the truth is there to understand what life is. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. We don't have to find it somewhere else, not to look for it. It's there now until it can appear gradually, stage by stage of its truth.
Yes, if we go to one word at a time, doubt, when we talk about doubt, it is meant like the doubt in the Dhamma, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, right? Not my daily, regular doubt, right?
Doubt is that which cannot understand the truth. The truth.
But then it's interesting. Then I don't understand the difference between ignorance.
When there's no doubt, there is ignorance. Right now, no doubt, or doubt is there.
Now there's doubt.
So it's time to have doubt and time to have no doubt by conditions. If doubt does not appear, is there doubt? So it's the moment of ignorance without doubt. But when doubt is there, ignorance does not appear. Doubt is there, see. There must be ignorance for sure when a kusala moment is there. But does ignorance appear right now? See,
It's appearing.
Yeah.
There are two kinds of ignorance: ignorance with doubt and ignorance without doubt. So most of the time, most of the day now, there's ignorance, but sometimes it's with doubt. So when doubt appears, then the ignorance doesn't appear, but there can be ignorance without doubt, just not understanding anything.
When Ajahn said there's a doubt, it's ignorant, it's not there because just the doubt, the character.
Moment there must be ignorance as the base. It's there to condition akusala. Without it, no akusala. That's why we have two different kinds of reality. Ignorance, now, doubt, or no doubt.
No idea.
When doubt is not there, see, no doubt, but there is ignorance, but ignorance is not known either. Otherwise, there can be the understanding of ignorance. How much ignorance is there in a day? But in truth, no thought about it. To be blind. The blind cannot see anything, cannot understanding anything.
Dream is waiting to dream. This is dream, everyone.
สวัสดีค่ะ not so much about not so much as a question, but more of a personal struggle more than anything. I've been listening to Aja last time you guys were here. I was here too, but then I don't have enough confidence to keep on studying as much as I used to. I guess the question is studying Dhamma and trying to know that there's no self, there must be like a condition for a certain person to have more understanding. I guess when life goes on and you're busy with work and outside of this room, there's a self, everyone has a self. And I guess the understanding decreases as life goes on. I guess my question is, how do you say, I don't think personally I have much doubt. I believe that this is the way to go. And but the confidence is not always there, is my struggle.
Jan would say, because it's all about I. So trying to,
The I cannot understand anything.
trying to know not self is not the right way, because it's I that is trying, I that is wishing to understand. So when it's I, it will just condition more and more confusion and doubt, because it's not the understanding of Dhammas, it's the study of I. So that's why there isn't enough firm confidence, and that's why sometimes there isn't enough interest, and it seems that the understanding is going downhill, because it's all about I and my study and my confidence and my trying to know self. So that's why the teaching is so subtle, and it's actually just the same point that Tsao brought up at the beginning. Behind it, it's the idea of I trying to do something, but actually the Dhamma is about understanding, not I doing anything, not I trying to know. Actually, it's a way of making life very difficult, torturing oneself by trying all the time and then being disappointed or having doubt when it doesn't work out as one would like, instead of just understanding what appears now. And it is that understanding that gradually lets go of the idea of I.
And it's also a matter of patience, because there's no you who can control and say, okay, we're going to have understanding arise at 4:30 p.m. No, it can't, it doesn't happen. So if you're going through, of course, the language is like this, we have to use pronouns. There's nothing else we can do with that. But if you're feeling that, you don't feel any conditions for you to study or whatever it is, just be patient. Just be patient and understand that it's conditions, so that the more there is opportunity to listen and to cogitate, if you want to use that word, to consider, cogitate, ponder, any of those words about it. And when you least expect it, because there's no you to expect anything, but when there's a least feeling about it, there a glimmer of understanding may at some point occur. And the more that happens, the more confidence you then feel. It is felt in the teaching. It's not you feeling, but it is felt of the teachings, there's far more confidence growing. And when there's more confidence, there's also more virya to be interested in reading more perhaps, or studying more in some way, or whatever, so that all of these can grow together as long as there is I guess the initial interest to come and listen to the Dhamma is doing. So don't, as Sarah says, if we fret about, oh, why can't I do this and why can't I do that, it acts as a hindrance to actually doing it, and to actually having it occur.
And of course, also the patience is conditioned, not I that can be patient or
Yes,
make it arise.
exactly. Patience is again depends on conditions. It's a jetasika.
We have a
That's it.
question. Someone from Zoom would like to ask a question. Anne, are you there, Anne, to ask your question?
Yes, I am. I'm
Could
just
you
gonna,
turn your video on, please?
okay, thank you. When Ajahn spoke about doubt, she started by saying it's that which does not understand the truth. So that which does not understand the truth is what gets taken for I. I don't, without any knowing or understanding. I guess there are a lot of things that are taken for I, but that just seemed to me to be the doubt is definitely not understanding, but it's not ignorance. It's not understanding the truth, which is different from wrong understanding.
Who is seeing?
I'm sorry,
Who is seeing? See,
Citta is seeing, but it seems like
I all the time, no matter who hears, it's I. So when there's no doubt, the I try to find out doubt to be known. But when doubt is there, no understanding of it. Just like now, no
Right.
understanding of seeing. And we talk about seeing a lot, but now I see, right?
Mhm. Yes,
Until right understanding develops little by little to get closer to what is the nature of seeing. We use the word citta, the chief of experiencing,
right.
but it's not any rupa at all, no rupa at all. Imagine the moment when it appears. Nothing is there,
Mhm.
but still a reality arises and experience that moment. That's why I learn to understand deeper and deeper. And that moment of understanding, that is moment of letting go, ignorance and wrong understanding, and also doubt.
And what doesn't understand the truth is ignorance. So the doubt is not being sure and not being wondering about it, but it's the ignorance that doesn't understand.
Right.
Whatever it is, whether it's the ignorance or the doubt, it's taken instantly for my doubt, my uncertainty, my lack of confidence. And that's conditioned. It has to be like that.
Yes. That uncertainty is what it makes sense, uncertainty, but it's uncertainty about, I guess it was the words that does not understand the truth that I misunderstood, or because I thought that which doesn't understand the truth is ignorance, but the doubt is the uncertainty about it.
Like when Zhao was wondering,
Yeah.
is it I that sees or seeing that sees at this moment? This is doubt, yes. Or is it true what Ajahn just said, or what is real now? This is doubt.
Yes, uncertainty for sure. Thank you.
excuse me, may I have more questions on doubt? Yes, so I understand that when doubts appears, ignorance does not appear. But how about, for example, I heard that when there's dosa or when there's lobha, there's no doubt. And I would like to hear more on.
Yeah, is there doubt now?
Yes, there's doubt now.
That's it. Not you. It's just a reality. Doubt has its own characteristic. Without understanding, I doubt. See, that's why learn to understand doubt as doubt until it's there, not I. The point is understanding, no I at all. So at moment of understand the truth of doubt, no I, doubt. Little by little.
Yeah, yes, I agree. But why, when there's dosa, there's no doubt, for example?
At moment of dosa appearing, what appears? Doubt or dosa? They cannot arise together. But at moment of doubt about dosa, it's there, doubt.
Thank you.
Now, do you have a question you'd like to ask or a topic you'd like to bring up? I'm sure everyone would be glad to hear from you. Nina, would you like to bring up a topic? We can't hear you. Okay.
I had doubt about the uselessness of life. It feels a bit artificial for me to say life is so useless, and useless to keep on being in samsara, being born again and again, because I feel that a life can be pleasant and unpleasant, but I don't feel so much about that it is useless. But then I heard about the magician and the illusion, and that we cling to what is there. No, it's gone already, everything, seeing, hearing, and that is all an illusion. So it made me understand a little better that it is so useless to keep on clinging. And I think it's very good if Ajahn can elaborate more on the uselessness of life in samsara.
Ignorance and all kinds of akusala is useless because it cannot understand the truth at all. Ignorance and all kinds of akusala is useless because it cannot understand the truth at all. While the truth is right now appearing, it's useful to understand what is there as it is. But without understanding, it's useless because there is ignorance, attachment, and any kind of reality. So this moment is useless and useful.
So while we cling to what is gone already, and you feel it's not the truth, So
Even
that,
understanding of that level is so very useful because you can understand a little more, a little more.
so the magician, who plays tricks to us all the time and make things appear which are not there, and is very helpful.
So whatever now appears is the time to understand it by talking about it, the truth of it, to understand the truth, that the truth cannot be changed. It's there so very short, beyond expectation. How short is a moment in split seconds? That's why learn to understand little by little of that which appears, that it cannot appear without that which experiences it. And this is life. Just is it true? When it's true, it's true. And consider more about just one word in all aspects, by way of ayatana or by way of the Four Noble Truths, on and on, until it's so firm that it has to be understanding of what is appearing now. Otherwise, can it be understanding? No, nothing appear. So what understanding understands? But now, whatever appears, it's time to begin to understand it little by little. What is seen is what is seen, only that which can be seen. When there's no understanding, it's the word of something all the time. But in truth, is there something permanent? This is the development of understanding, to be firm understanding, firm confidence of the truth. Since it's so true, it can be realized when understanding is enough to understand the truth, stage by stage. For example, Satipatthana, we just talk about it and we assume that it is Satipatthana, but in truth, what is Sati and what is not Satipatthana and what is Satipatthana? Otherwise, no understanding at all. Just take it for Satipatthana, what is not. For example, right now, is it Satipatthana? Or is it Sati? Is it known? Or it's just thought about? And this is life from life to life, ignorance about the truth of what appears and thought about. So just firm understanding, at that moment it let go ignorance and wrong understanding, very little, gradually, unknowingly, because it's so very subtle. And this is the subtle path leading to understand the truth of what Buddha had realized.
So we learned that considering is so important. And some time ago, I was talking to Sarah about considering, and she reminded me that even considering can be taken for self and wanting to try to understand. And I feel I have to hear more about this, about the right way of considering and not trying to understand, because that is again a self.
And everyone, not only you or me.
Like it's the same topic as Zal's about trying to do. We might think, oh, I'm not trying to focus on breath or go to a special place. But even now there can be trying to consider, trying to understand, because the idea of self is so deep rooted. So no matter we're talking about ignorance or doubt or considering, the idea of I is always lurking there, trying to do something. Even trying, when reading the text, trying to catch the point or trying to understand what Ajahn says. But it's just daily life. It's just different dharmas. There can be understanding even at the moment of trying to consider different from the actual considering.
It's very hard to know the difference between when there is right considering without a self and considering with a self. It's so subtle, the difference.
That's why we talk about seeing, hearing, so very ordinary, because it's there now and not enough understanding of it. If we don't talk about it, how can there be a little more considering about the nature of it? Because it's there to be understood. The truth that there must be a reality hidden. It arises and experience what appears now. Talk about it again and again, to get closer to the truth, to understand the hidden reality from birth, the reality which arises and experience whatever is there all the time in life. About it again, to understand the truth, how much understanding of seeing right now, no matter how many times we keep on talking about it, again and again, next time, again and again, in order to have a little more understanding, to be more confident of the truth of seeing.
And then doubt comes in, and then I'm afraid because I'm old and I may die anytime with doubt. So I'm afraid.
How long have you lived? See, not only this life, years and years ago, from moment to moment, non-stop, the reality which experiences the object arise and falls away all the time, uncountable, how old it is. So old. But what about understanding? See, it does not depend on time, but it depends on careful considering again and again by conditions. That's why Buddha always taught about the truth of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, the six levels in any world, deva or human being or any realm of existence. It's there, even right now, all day. Did he tell anyone to do anything?
I think M Hong have want to ask some question. You can ask now only.
Just a minute, Haji. I think Anli is next because he's in the room to ask a question. So go ahead, please, Anli. No.
Yes, today I had a very simple and technical questions. I just want to confirm that, for example, when I want to confirm my understanding. For example, when we recall our favorite meals, ice creams, for example. When we eat and we like the ice cream, there is attachment for sure. But even when we recall about a good memory of eating, there's also can be loba arising at that moment, and And it's just the same with the, for example, we remember we did a good deed some times ago. That is there possibility that there's some kusala chitta arise again at that recalling moment.
So even now, thinking about some kindness shown a little while ago, can be thinking with wise reflection or unwise reflection, clinging to what has been given, clinging to that kindness, because clinging is so common. So whether it's clinging to the taste of ice cream or clinging to the good deed done, it's just clinging now, not my clinging. So there can be attachment to anything. That's why we read in the text about how any reality can condition lobha by decisive support condition.
Yes.
Pakatu upanisya pachya. So kusala can be conditioned for lobha.
Yes, but how about when we recall the good deeds that we did, there can be any kusala.
There can be.
There can be also.
There can be. There can
Of
be
course, the positivity is
reflection
lower, but
about the
yeah.
value of metta,
Ah.
but the kusala can, the akusala, the clinging can come in so quickly.
Yes,
Usually in my experience,
yes.
it's clinging. Yes.
Yes.
Because it's gone, but there's clinging onto the good deed and taking
Yes.
it for my deed,
Yes.
my goodness, that was done, my kindness. So it can be clinging with wrong view to that goodness. And
Yes,
actually
clear.
it's all gone. Only Panya can know at this very moment, can be truthful to what is really there, because we like to assume that it's kusala reflecting on the kusala. But usually lobha is so much more common. Yes. Clinging to the other's good deed, thinking about Ajahn's kindness or help with understanding. What about the clinging? There can be moments of appreciation of the value of that understanding of goodness, but clinging, taking it for being Ajahn's goodness. So clinging to the other's goodness too, and wrong view, taking it for belonging to that person. Even reflecting on the Buddha's virtues, it can be with wise reflection and understanding, or it can be with clinging too. So anything can be the object of clinging.
Oh, so when you say that even Buddha's virtues can be an object for clinging, I think it's very common for many Vietnamese. I'm sorry, yes, in Southeast Asia, they worship the Buddha. They even bring the statue of Buddha home and offer praise every day. Instead of they tend to think that it's better to instead of going to the temple and praying there, it's more convenience to some for bring a statue at the home and offer praying every day, and there's more good deed. Then it's very common, yes, but
Even we don't do these kinds of actions. What about now when reflecting on the Buddha's virtues? There can be considering and wisely reflecting how fortunate we are to listen and appreciate his great wisdom. But clinging can come in so quickly.
Yes.
Even now, even though we're not like those others. And what about when comparing? Mana can come in so quickly. This is what those Vietnamese do, but we're not like that. What about the mana at those times? So it all
Exactly.
comes back to the understanding of the chitta now,
Yes.
not the chitta of the others. Yes. And
Thank
this
you very
is
much.
mana different from wrong view. Yes.
But the point of clinging to Ajah's good deeds is harder to see. That even thinking about that can be with clinging. That is a more subtle point, a bit more harder to understand.
And it's not me. Right? The words of the Buddha, the enlightenment, just what you have heard about what is there now. For example, is there ignorance now?
Yes, many times
Okay,
occur.
that's not enough. Ignorance of what?
Of reality.
Not enough, because everything is a reality. So right now, ignorance of what?
Of the present reality.
Yeah, sure, everything is a reality, but now, not everything, right? Only some reality now. And is there ignorance about that? Which is now, right now. Ignorance of seeing, right? Only 3 moments after seeing is there. Avijjasava, Kamasava, Tittasava, and Bhavasava, clinging to existence. But it's there by conditions, nothing can be done. Only moment of beginning to understand it, that it's there by conditions in a day. That's why enormous ignorance added from moment to moment. That's why understand it, how difficult, how deep it is to let go the idea of self, because it's there. Of the 5 khandhas, it means that every moment of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and this is the understanding of satya, that nobody can change how fast it is by condition to arise just after seeing, before there can be any thought of seeing as something. Each process of seeing, mind process follows, and the other sense though, all day, ignorance. That's why learning to understand the truth, that the path is only moment of understanding the truth, to let go ignorance of seeing, from hearing that it's just a conditioned reality, no one there at all. And it's gone instantly, before there can be the idea of something, conditioned by the rapidity of the succession of the seeing arises and falls away instantly. And there must be other chitta and other dawe in between, like the mind process. So life is so very, very subtle. But there can be the development of understanding gradually, firmly, to live just as normally by conditions. The moment of understanding, gone, and the moment of ignorance there and then gone. That's why there can be the understanding of the truth. It has to be long, long time to begin to understand, seeing right now, the nature of it. Can it be known? It's so true. If it's not known, it's not the understanding of what is there as a reality. So that is the idea of self, on and on and on. When there's no understanding of what is there right now as it is, little by little.
I think Hong from West Australia would like to ask a question. Are you there, Hong, still? Thank you for being patient. Please go ahead. If you can turn your video on, it's helpful for us here.
Hello, Ajahn, hello, Sarah and everyone. I have a question about, at a moment ago, Ajahn asking about what is sati, what is satipatthana, is sati now? I think they are different level to at the sati. So I would like to hear more about Ajahn. Why you ask what is sati and what is satipatthana and is sati now?
We begin with, is sati a reality?
Yes.
Is it there now?
It's now, but it's not at the moment.
So when you say now, what citta is there with sati?
Chitta is chitta is chitta is when the sati now, but chitta is not appear.
There are so many different cittas, some with sati and some without sati. So what citta arises with sati?
When the object of understanding sati aware of the object. When the object Dhamma, like seeing,
Sati arises
like
with
seeing.
seeing. Does sati arises with seeing?
No.
Why not?
Because seeing is the chitta, sati is aware. Seeing,
Hong, the question is, which chittas does sati arise with? For example, does sati arise with akusala chittas, like when there's attachment or doubt? Does sati arise with akusala chittas?
No, no.
Does sati arise with seeing or hearing?
Yes, yes, yes.
At the moment of seeing, when seeing sees what is visible, does sati arise together with seeing?
Yes, yes.
How many chaitasikas arise with seeing?
Must be the sati and other wholesome reality.
At the moment of seeing,
how many? One.
I know you know the answer, but I think you're confused. So at the moment of seeing is not a wholesome chitta. Seeing is vipaka, result. So at the moment of seeing, what chaitasikas arise together with seeing and experience the visible object?
Sati. Sati.
At the moment of seeing, only 7 chaitasikas arise together with seeing. Is sati one of the 7 chaitasikas that arise with seeing?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, 7 chaitasika arise with seeing, and with if understanding.
Not with understanding. So 7 chaitasikas arise with seeing.
Mm-hmm.
What are the 7 chaitasikas that arise with seeing?
Phassa, Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Manasikara, Chetana, and Ekatgata.
And Jivitindriya, yes. So
Okay.
any sati?
No.
No. So Ajahn question was, does sati arise with seeing? And the answer is no, because only those 7 cetasikas you mentioned arise with seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just asking about which chitas sati arises with. So it doesn't arise with akusala chitas. It doesn't arise with seeing or hearing. So which chitas, which kind of chitas does sati arise with?
Chitta, so, seeing, you asking about eye consciousness?
Discuss seeing eye consciousness, and we agree only 7 cetasikas arise with seeing or eye consciousness. And sati is not one of the 7, because you could tell me very easily what the 7 are. So sati doesn't arise with seeing. So what does sati arise with? And it doesn't arise with the akusala chitas, like when Lobha Mula Chitta arises or Dosa Mula Chitta arises. So what kind of chitas does sati arise with?
So can I?
Like we were talking earlier about when there is kindness, for example, when there is kindness, does sati arise with the chitta, with kindness?
Yes.
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 What about when there is generosity? Does sati arise with the chitta, with generosity? Yes. So with any kusala chittas, sati arises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So not just with when there is understanding, even when there is kindness with no understanding, sati must arise.
Mm-hmm. But sati not arrive with the seeing consciousness.
No.
No. Okay.
It doesn't. No sati arises with it. Even when it's the result of kusala karma, even when it's kusala vipaka, no sati with a moment of seeing, because only 7 cetasikas needed, the ones that you mentioned. That's all. Now let Ajahn continue.
Okay, I got the.
And that is not the understanding of sati. It's just the words about sati. That's why without understanding one characteristic of a reality, it's impossible to understand whether it arises with this or doesn't arise with that citta at all. That's why we learn to understand each reality as it is, to understand with what is sati, see, beginning from it's a reality, right? Is a citta the chief of experiencing the object from the very beginning?
Yes. Yes.
No. There is only one reality, which its nature is just arise to see, to experience an object, no matter what object. There is a reality which is the chief of experiencing clearly the reality of that which is experienced. That's why we understand the difference, different color, different shape and form, because it experienced so clear, even the same color, the different shade of color is experienced by citta. So there must be only one reality which arises to experience the object clearly. It means that why we say it arises and experience the object clearly, it means that there are also other realities which arise and experience the object, but not as the chief experience the clearness of the object as it is. Now, see, different colors. Even we don't say what color is there, but it experiences what is there as it is without any word. Is there that reality in life? Only one characteristic of one reality which arises just to experience the object clearly.
So I understand now what Ajahn said. I understand. I got it.
And it's different from attachment or ignorance. Is that right? Because its characteristic not is that which is attached at all. It's that which only experience the object. And when we use the word clearly, it's not right understanding because it's clear in its own function, just to perform the moment when it arises to experience whatever object is there, clear. While there are other reality which experience the same object together, but the other reality cannot experience that object as clear as it. That's why it is a reality. One reality. No matter when it arises, it performs its function just to experience the object. It's not ignorance, it's not attachment, it's not feeling, it's not memory, because that is not the function of that which arises to, just is the chief of experiencing the object. Is there that object, that reality right now?
Yes.
At moment of seeing, it's not at moment of thinking about that which is seen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
the moment of thinking of that which is seen is not the moment of actually experiences that which is seen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we learn about in life what moment is moment of that reality arises to experience the object. So clear. Just about the object. What is seen. Is what is seen different from moment to moment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The seeing just a moment ago and the seeing right now is the object, the same one.
Not the same.
See how and why?
Because horizon and pass away. It's different.
Yeah. Whatever arises falls away instantly, because whatever arises is conditioned just to arise. As soon as it has risen, fall away instantly. No condition for it to fall away, because there's condition for it to arise, and as soon as it has risen, it fall away instantly. Who knows? To learn to understand the truth little by little, to understand what is there in life, unknown, eons and on, until hearing about the truth of what is there, just one reality at a time, until right understanding is enough for it to show up as we have learned about it. Otherwise, it's useless to listen to the truth, the words of the Buddha. But it can be directly experienced when it's there. And only understanding can understand that because it's now there. But without understanding, there is no understanding of the truth of what is there. any moment in life. So understand what is meant by understanding. Is it just the word, the idea, or is it a reality which can understand the truth of what is there? Otherwise, we learn just the word of Dhamma, but no understanding of Dhamma at all. But the point of listening to the truth is not just understanding the word, but to understand the reality, the nature of what is there, as the word represents the truth of it. So begin to understand just one word of one characteristic of a reality, to understand the truth that it cannot be taken for anything at all. Beginning to understand what is meant by reality, Dhamma, and the truth of it. Little by little, firmer and firmer, to let go ignorance, clinging, wrong understanding, which is there of whatever appears. Is that true? Just one word about one reality. So, what about Sati say without understanding that what is it from the very beginning? It's just the idea about it, but never understanding the truth clearer and clearer until it appears as it is. And by then, no doubt about it. The nature of it cannot be someone or something at all. And this is what we mean by study Dhamma, the nature, the characteristic of Dhamma right now. To have the understanding that it cannot be taken for anything at all. Ignorance is different from understanding. Each reality is different. They are there. But understanding begins to understand just one characteristic at a time, clearer, until the idea of self is less and less at moment of understanding. And this is the fourth of the noble truth, the path leading to understand the truth until it's realized. But there must be understanding of that very object clearly. Otherwise, it's only thinking about the number and the characteristic. But what about understanding when it's there? For example, right now, there is seeing. See, we learned about it sees, but can that which cannot experience see? So there must be a reality for sure from birth, arising, experiencing the object, no matter the object appear or not appear, but it arises to experience. And they're conditioned for each moment of experiencing an object to be different by conditions. For example, seeing is a reality which experiences the visible object, and hearing is a reality which arises to experience, but by condition, it experiences different objects. But its characteristic is the chief of experiencing what is there as it is. So is sati that reality?
Yes, Ajahn.
Sati is not citta, the innermost, the reality which is conditioned to arise from birth, arising and falling away, never absent. It's there any time of experiencing anything with other reality which arise together, different characteristic, different function. So we learn to understand from the very beginning, the reality, which is achieved, is only one kind of reality. And that is the word we used to hear it as citta, or sometimes vijnana, and sometimes mano, or vandara. Each has different meaning, but it's the characteristic, the quality of the citta in different aspects. That's why in order to understand the truth clearer and clearer, for it to appear to understanding only about the characteristic which now is there. So there is moment before seeing, it's there. And at moment of seeing, it's there. See, by different conditions.
Hong, if you're free tomorrow, I think it would be good to continue the topic of what is Sati and Satipatthana. So please join tomorrow and we will give you some priority. It's time for us to finish the English discussion and we're changing channels to the Vietnamese channel. So anyone is welcome to listen or join that on the Vietnamese link. So tomorrow we have an English discussion 10:30 to 12 and 1:30 to 3. So hope all those at home can join us.